Welcome back, mathematicians. We are going to rewrite these fractions in decimal form. So one thing we know that we really want to do is that before we can convert any fractions into decimal form, the denominator either needs to be 10 or it needs to be 100, because those are the place values to the right of the decimal point. So looking at our first fraction, 1/2, we do not have a decimal that has we do not have a fraction that has a denominator of 10 or 100, but we can make it pretty easily. So if we decide that we want to make it 10, we can think to ourselves, how did we get from 2 to 10? Times 5. And what we do to the bottom, got to do to the top. 1 times 5 is 5. So now we have 5/10. Now it'll be really easy to convert this into a decimal. 0 and 5/10. Awesome. How about this fraction, 3/4? We really need the denominator to be 10 or 100. But let me think for a sec. Can 4 go into 10? Is 4 a factor of 10? Nope, 4, 8, 12. But can 4 go into 100? Absolutely. We think about quarters. 4 quarters in $1, so we can definitely make this denominator 100. And we think, how did we get from 4 to 100? 4 times 20 is 80. Oh, but 4 times 25 is 100 because 4 quarters equal $1. What I do to the bottom, I got to do to the top. 3 times 25 is 75. 75 hundredths is equal to 0 and 75 hundredths. All right, but what about 3/25? Can we make the denominator here 10? No, 25 can't go into 10, so we have to make our denominator 100. And as we already know, 4 quarters equals $1, so 25 times 4 is 100. What we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. So here we have 12 hundredths. We would write that as 0 and 12 hundredths. All right, let's look at our bottom row. Now we have a mixed number, 2 and 2/5. Okay, the 2 wholes is going to stay the same, but we need to make our denominator 10 or 100. 5 can go into 10, and we multiplied it by 2, and what we do to the bottom, we'll do to the top. So that would be 2 and 4/10. And now writing it as a decimal, 2 and 4/10. All right, let's check out this mixed number, 4 and 7/20. Okay, our 4 wholes is going to stay the same, but our 20ths needs to be changed into hundredths. So that was times 5, and what we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. So that would be 35 hundredths. 4 and 35 hundredths. All right, now on to our last one. We're in luck. There's already a denominator of 100. 5 and 100th. Be careful that you write the 1 in the correct place and that it's not 5/10, but it's 100th. All right, now we're going to write these decimals as fractions, and the most important part is that we write them in simplest form. All right, so here I have my first one is 0 and 3/10. So I'll simply write 3/10, and now I'm going to think to myself, can I simplify? Nope, 1 is the greatest factor. Let's look at our next one. We have 1 and 6/10. Can I simplify? Absolutely, 6 and 10 are both even. I have to rewrite the 1. I can divide both by 2, and I end up with 1 and 3/5. All right, what about 3 and 400ths? Let's rewrite that as a mixed number first. 3 and 400ths. Well, they're both even, so I can divide them both by 2. I'll write my whole number again. Divided by 2, that would be 3 and 2/50ths. But wait, they're both still even. I can divide again by 2. That would be 3 and 1/25. I could have also looked at 4 and 100 and realized I could have divided both by 4, but it's okay if you take 2 steps, as long as you eventually get to simplest form. All right, our last one, 2 and 75 hundredths. I hope that we can recognize right away we could divide both by 5, the numerator and the denominator, but we could also think to ourselves, wait, 75 and 100, those remind me of quarters. I can divide the numerator and the denominator by 25, and what I end up with is 2 and 3/4, and that's the simplest form.